All right, everyone. This is Bradley Waldrop, and thank you very much for joining us for Internet Marketers Mastermind. And we had a great session last week. If you didn't get a chance to pick up that copy or you haven't viewed that, I'd highly recommend it. We had Simon Harries on, and we were talking very specifically about traffic and how to get traffic to your offer because it's one half of the big equation. There are really only two things that we have to do as Internet marketers to be successful, and that is to have an offer and to have traffic. That oversimplifies it, and what I want to do in this series as we keep going is dig into each one of these components and talk about it. And so what we have here is we have Stojan on the phone here or on a Google Hangout. We're going to talk very specifically about the offer piece, in particular the research that goes into it. It has a lot to do with traffic as well, so if we don't understand our market at all, we end up creating these offers that don't go anywhere. Nobody buys them, and we just make everyone mad, and we get to be disappointed. So if you could, real quick, Stojan, could you give us a quick 2-minute or less version of who you are, where you come from, and why this particular topic is so interesting to you?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Stojan. So I want to welcome you on the call today and hope we all going to learn something today. I have years of experience in internet marketing, but this is my first time trying to create a product that will help someone else. So far I was involved in affiliate marketing and some Facebook marketing and Google marketing, so I have experience in all those areas. But let's say through all those ventures I had, I learned a lot about market research, and I came to realization how important market research is. And like you said, Bradley, before, when you talk about it last week with Simon, you said there is a offer part and traffic part. So I will add to those two parts, I would add market research as a first part, and it always comes at first place. So you first do research, then you'll know what product to promote, also you'll know how to promote it, and it's all one big picture. Yes, it's oversimplification of all the process, but I would call those three basic pillars of any kind of business venture online. So I just want to say in advance, sorry about my English, it's not perfect, and I hope you guys don't mind. I have little notes for myself just to make a little easier for me about my English. Okay, so
that's great. And what's interesting is we were talking about sort of digging into the research part, and I was literally at a meeting this last week, and someone had brought to us a project that they had, and they put a lot of time and a lot of money into it, and then when we asked them who their ideal customer was, they just kind of said, well, anybody. And that seems to be a real common temptation for us as internet marketers to try to market to anyone. Why is this extensive research so important?
It's like this. Let me make a little introduction. So I like to make a little story, so it will be a little more interesting to people. Let's say it like this. I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of people talk we live in information age. You know, they call it like that. It's age, information age. We're living, I don't know, past 10 years, 20 years. And I stumbled upon a recent statement from Google CEO. It's called, let me read it to you, it's called Eric Schmidt. And he said that every 2 days now, we create as much information as we did from the dawn of civilization up until 2003. And that's very fascinating information to know about. It's if you think about it like this, you can in today time, we have so much information surrounding us. So in one day, we can learn about more than people could in their lifetime throughout history. So I can say that's a pretty mind-blowing information for me, if you agree with me. So what I'm talking about is it's because market research help us to find our way through all that information. We pick up information that we need and don't get lost in all that clutter. And we pick information that we can use and put it in good use, so we can get, I don't know, better return of investments, or better at copywriting, or I don't know, better conversions, all those stuff. We use market research to help us with. So I think some of the I'm not sure if you heard, let's say, like for example, Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know. It's an interesting fact. I don't know. Do you guys know why did they always wear the same outfit? It was an interesting story. They wear the same outfit because they both said the same thing. It was because they had so many decision making on a daily level. They wanted to didn't want to add one more decision, which was what will they wear every day. So they basically cut that decision out and say we're going to wear the same outfit every day, so we don't have to worry about that. And that's the way how they deal with that information clutter we are surrounded all day. And I want to I like to picture all that information like a big highway, like super highway with a lot of traffic, like 8 lanes in every direction. And I like to watch market research like a way to find my way on that highway. So to know where the exits on that highway, how to drive traffic I want, where I want it. So I'm like, it's helping me find my way, not to get lost among all the traffic that you have on highway that big. So I like to picture it like that.
It's interesting when we talk about market research. It actually benefits. It seems to benefit not just us as the internet marketers, but our customers as well. Because I think what you just said was they're overwhelmed with information.
Yeah.
And that means that if the information and the message that we give to them isn't exactly where their head is, then we can be viewed as that white noise and another decision to simply distract them from doing what it is they want to do, need to do, and would be willing to do by spending money to either learn or participate with us. But if what we're doing is we're not targeting the right market, we just simply confuse them and sort of tarnish our reputation in the process because it feels like we can't relate to them, and now they discount us altogether.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, let's then do this. Do you personally have an example of where research went sideways, or maybe wasn't done as well as it should have been done, and either you bumped your head against the wall, or you wasted a lot of time or energy, or maybe you spent money in a place that you shouldn't have spent money, that made research so important to you?
Yeah, of course. Don't we all? I can give you some personal experience I have with it. For example, when I started a bit of Facebook advertising, I don't know how many people here are familiar with Teespring. It's a platform for selling T-shirts over online. So basically, it's not a bad way for a newbie to start online, selling stuff online, actually, because you get a landing page and you get all things taken care of, like sending the merchandise and customer relationships. All that things are getting taken care of for you. All you have to do is to get design ready and to have to drive traffic to that offer. So I had some experience with Teespring, and for example, I on my first try with Teespring, I did not know no market research whatsoever. I just had my design ready. I had a T-shirt which was for architects, and it was with a caption, "Date an architect, they know all the angles." So that was my T-shirt, and I tried to sell it with my friend who was an architect. So we put an ad on Facebook. We had a copy of ad, and I paid for advertising for Facebook ads. And my mistake that I learned from that time is that I didn't do any research at all. I didn't research my demographics. I didn't know who am I offering this T-shirt to. And I ended up selling only one T-shirt. It was like a campaign that was lasting for 7 days, and only one T-shirt was sold. But after that, I learned from my mistakes. So next campaign I did was same on Teespring. T-shirt was this time for system administrators, with computers. So my other campaign, I did a good market research. So I found out in advance to which group I am offering that T-shirt. So I found demographics. I found it was largely a male group. Certain age was not certain exactly. I found it was from 28 to 35. Then I found out they also have an annual day when people that are system administrators have an annual day when celebrate their profession and when they get gifts on that day. So I use that information in my ads and in my interest to target people that are interested in system administration. So I ended up selling 77 T-shirts in 7 days, and that was my second try, only by doing some market research. So that's a good and a bad example of why you should do market research. Also, I can give you one more good example. For example, I saw a guy who did a campaign, and he was selling hoodies with long sleeves, but he didn't do his research well, so he offered it's like you said before, when you offer a product and there is no market for it. He offered a long sleeve hoodie to a market, to people that were living on Bahamas. I think it was a high temperature condition, weather condition. So it was a bad decision on his part because he didn't do his research. So I see a lot of examples like that all over the place. Like people don't do research and then they have bad results because of it.
Also, so what you're saying is that I shouldn't try to sell shorts to Eskimos in the winter.
Of course.
Well, okay, so if I'm a complete newbie and I don't understand where to start, the concept of market research can be overwhelming and it can be scary. How do I, as a new person, get started doing the research I need in order to identify a market that has potential to grow, that I could sell something to, and how do I organize all that?
You do that all by sticking to basic stuff. There are some basic tools every marketer, successful marketer use, and it's all basically the same tools. Everybody use the same tools. It's only different by approach. So let me say, if I can teach my 63-year-old mother to get information that she needs, I think then everybody can learn that. So it's only a question: do you want to learn it? I watch it as a skill. It's a skill set to learn. It's not like something you learn and forget tomorrow. It's basically a skill, like copywriting. It's the same. So also one more thing, I noticed when newbies start to do market researching, they try to buy all the products on the market, all the plugins, all the services they could, so to make that process easier for themselves. But actually they are just complicating, and they are making harder for themselves, because when you don't do market research yourself, you miss a lot of things. For example, when I do my market research manually by myself, I find a lot of things about that market. I really get to know it. You get the feel of the market. You start to read those people's minds, and also you get all kind of valuable information you can use later for other things like copywriting, like you get ideas for your next products, for example. You get a good information about where you headed next. Also, what you can do with that. For example, I see a lot of people. There was a guy recently. We tried to help him on the Facebook group. He was disappointed about his product, and I have a unique approach about market research. I watch everything like opportunity to learn. So you see, even if you have a successful, let's say, product launch or unsuccessful, your next step would be the same. If you have unsuccessful product launch, your next step would be to find why it was unsuccessful and to make it successful. And also, in other case, if you have a successful product, your next logical step would be to find out how to make it even more successful. So either way, you are going to research. To do next step, you have to do the research. Okay, so
I think what you just said was that even though you do research in the very beginning, there's still always something else to learn along the way, and that if we do sort of the lather, rinse, and repeat cycle of information, digging deeper, trying to get into the heads of our customers at every step of the way, we end up increasing conversions, increasing profitability, and at the end of the day, really increasing the satisfaction our customer has because we're giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you if you could, you simply said that there are plug-in, there are ways to get other research done for you and all this other stuff, but you also said that there are some basic tools. What are some of the basic tools that those that are watching could just go and start to look at right now and make a difference in the research they're doing?
A lot of people, they're like I said, they're all free stuff. Free tools are everywhere around us. Go to Google. Google is I think the best research tool in the world, and I think 90% of people don't know how to use it properly. So that's the place to start. I can give you many examples. For example, let's say you said earlier it's not a good it's not a good thing when you have a broad audience. Let's say, for example, I have a product and my target audience would be women, for example, just generally speaking. So let's say I want to find out about some product I could offer to women, and let's say, so how would I start to do my research? Where would I find information about that? So, for example, logical step would be to try to research on some of the largest social media websites like Facebook or Twitter or maybe Pinterest or Instagram, or I don't know, for example, just. So what will I do just to find out where would be the best place for me to do my research is, for example, you said to give you example of tools. Example of tools are also free, also everybody knows about is Alexa. It's a tool for giving me ranking of websites. Okay, so I can use Alexa, for example, to find out that Facebook and Twitter have women to men ratio of 50 to 50, for example, range. And for example, you can find out that Pinterest and Instagram are mostly visited by women. And that's a very interesting fact because you can use that information, you know where to research anything you want to offer to women. You will go to Pinterest or Instagram, and also you get one more valuable information about that they respond well to images, and you can watch those images on those websites and see what is happening over there. So that's just an example of the tools you can use, and they are all free. They are all in front of us. Just you have to find a combination how to use those tools to get information you want. So it's that simple.
Okay, so if I have a target market of women, I might go to Pinterest or Instagram and do some searches for groups or pin boards or something like that that have something in common with the group that I'm really after targeting, right? So if I have maybe my target market is 25 to 30-year-old women who are athletic. There might be groups out there somewhere that that cater directly toward the active lifestyle in young women, and then I could start to pay attention to the conversations that they're having about what's interesting, what keeps them up at night, what difficulties they're having in life. And what their hopes and dreams are. Is that kind of what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, that's a example for it. Definitely, it all depends on what goals you have. I think two main questions when you do market research is first one, what do you want to find out, and the second one, where to go to find it out. So that's the only two questions, and that's why I think market research is very simple. It's all based to figuring out where to find information, and there are several tools to do it. And when you figure out those tools, everything else becomes very simple.
So what I think is kind of interesting is that last week we talked about two things that every marketer needs to do in order to be successful, and that is to have an offer, and the other is to drive traffic to it. And what you're saying is that if we dive one level deeper into that exercise, we have to know what keeps our customer up at night and how to satisfy their needs with the product that we're giving them and the marketing message we're providing. Yet, in order to figure that out, we only really need two things. We need to understand what questions to ask and where to get answers to those questions.
Of course.
Okay. So, it's interesting. We were talking about these tools, and I didn't know whether or not you would throw this in, and I just found out somebody actually said this a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was so profound that if we go and we look at our target market and the print media that they buy, the magazines that they read, the newspapers that they read, each one of those outlets actually has an advertising arm, and the advertising arm produces a media kit, even TV and radio, they also do as well, a media kit that clearly identifies the demographic and shopping behaviors of their audience. And so if you know someone in a target group or a series of people in target groups, and you start to ask them, what magazines do you subscribe to? What kinds of shows do you watch? What kinds of radio do you take in? You can start to very clearly and very quickly get free information from those outlets to identify not just them in a demographic, but their shopping habits too. And I thought that was really neat to be able to send people directly to.
Yeah, exactly. Magazines are very powerful because they are connected to almost every niche out there has a magazine connected to them. Very, very powerful resource for researching. So that's a good find for you. Good information, yeah.
Well, I have some people coming in on Facebook and asking some questions, and so we'll take some of those in just a second. But I do know that the reason I had you on is because I know that you're working through presenting this information in a way that other people can get to it easily and work themselves through it. Tell me a little bit about what it is you're creating and what we can expect to see here pretty soon when you launch a new product.
Sure. So I'm preparing a product that is called Market Sniper Secrets, and basically I will try to teach people. Like I said before, everybody can find tools. Everybody can pay for tools. Tools are all around us, but I want to guide people how to use them, how to equip them with strategies to make them better marketeers, to learn them a skill. So it's not something that you will learn, and for example, when you buy a product, that product can get old in, I don't know, maybe a year or so, or maybe you get a free trial to try it or something like that. No, I'm trying to teach them a skill that they can use it for a lifetime ahead of them. For also they can use that skill for other stuff than marketing. They can use for, I don't know, finding whatever information they need online. So that, I think that can be a very valuable thing.
So I think I heard you say two words in there that are super intriguing for me. I think you said strategy, and I think you said skill or maybe tactic. And you may not have used the word tactic, but if you combine strategy with tactic, you end up with a really powerful formula. If you try to do one or the other, you have a real problem, right? You could strategize all day long and say, you know, I think it's best to turn left when we finally get there, but you never get there. And then tactics is just sitting down and not thinking about the direction things are going, the answers that you're given, and how to adjust what it is you're currently doing to get more out of it. In this product that you're launching, do you address both strategy and tactics?
Yeah, of course. I think both are very important. So I will try. Let me see. It's biggest question is how to make people, how to learn them to think strategically, how to make tactics. So that's the hardest part. It's not hard to and it's like I know Alex said, for example, market research is not sexy. Nobody thinks when you say market research, oh yeah, market research, oh god, I have to do that. But it doesn't have to be hard, and also it can be quite fun if you represent those things like that to yourself. Brain don't brain likes tasks, likes to have tasks, doesn't want to get lazy, and you shouldn't make it lazy. So there are always strategies and tactics to employ to get good at those things. So that's definitely in my approach and in my teachings that I will present in my product.
So if I were a fly on the wall here, and as you're developing this product, uh, we talked about strategies and tactics, and those are really kind of features, right? They say how we're going to deliver the information and what's really included. But at the end of the day, though strategy is good for people because, and tactic is good for people because, can you fill in those two blanks? Why is it important?
Can you just repeat that? Sorry, I didn't.
No problem. If let's just look at one of them first. Strategy is important to internet marketers because why is it so important?
Because market research, like by definition, is something you use to plan your steps ahead. So that's basically a strategic move for you, for your business, how to advance. It's basically where you're going with your project, you know. So and that's also why you do it before everything else, because it's just a strategic move. It's like playing chess. You have to watch a few moves ahead of yourself, not just step by step. So that's why everything, considering marketing, is strategic.
So might I suggest that if there are people who are watching this, including me, that have problems with the shiny object syndrome, that part of the shiny object syndrome solution is to have done really great research up front and have a very clear strategic understanding of how we're going to get to the end goal, and that is providing really great value for our customers and in return making the money that it's worth.
Yeah. Let me give me an example. For example, when people don't think ahead, I see examples when people buy domain, buy hosting, set up a website, and didn't do research at all. And then they find out like that there's no traffic for what they are trying to sell, or I don't know, something. That's a classic mistake. So that's the stuff you have to watch out, and that's why you do market research.
Okay, so then let's tackle the other side. I think we dealt with the strategic part and why strategy is important.
Yeah.
If we were to look at tactics now, the skill set, the tools, why does that matter to us as internet marketers that we understand how to do the work ourselves?
Like I said before, when you do the work yourself, you get some bonuses along the way. You get some value out of it. You get ideas. You get information you need. You can use some of the information for later. You can. There's a bunch of values you can get out of a proper market research. And also, when you say about tactics we use along the way, tactics are like, you know, like Swiss Army knife. You equip yourself with different tactics and you use them along your way. Your main goal is to get to know your market. So, like I said, you have to start reading their minds. So that's the main thing about market research. In, I don't know, the simplest way to explain it, like that.
Yeah, so in order to make market research sexy, we might be able to say that it's a way for us to logically walk through and understand our customer, or read their mind, like you say, get in their own head, so that we know what keeps them up at night and that we know what it is they need out of our products or services, and the quality levels that maybe are needed in that process. If you had to boil it down to one thing that you feel like most of us internet marketers now need to change today, what's that one thing that you would say we're doing wrong, we need to fix right now?
Do your research.
Well,
no.
rather than this broad term of research, is there a specific area in there that makes better sense to say, you know what, yeah, you're doing research wrong, but if I had to guide you in one place where you really seem to be goofing it up, this is the place?
I will have to repeat myself. I think the main thing and main advice I could give to everybody is it's stick to the basics. So if we watch market research, like I said before, it's one of the basic stuff in every internet marketing. If you buy a product, you know, like internet marketing niche, it's one of the most active niche out there. You know that there is a product, I don't know, every hour a new product comes out. So you can follow all those products, buy them, and actually a lot of those products work, and that's not a problem. And I don't have, for example, I myself have bought a lot of products and have followed a lot of methods, and there are methods that work, but there are a lot of methods that works only case by case. You have, if you want to pursue internet marketing seriously, and if you want to be a serious internet marketer, then you want to put your business on pillars, I would say, and those are the pillars we talked about earlier. It's the research, it's the traffic, it's all the basic stuff. And if you watch all the greatest marketers in the world, they are all masters at those pillars. And everything, you know, it's like copywriting, sales funnels, list building, all those stuff are basic stuff. And they all are parts of that three pillars that we talk about. It's either making product, it's either traffic, or it's either research. So my advice, like you said, your question was one thing I would advise to every internet marketer is to get the skill set, not to pursue products, but to find out your weaknesses and work on them. It's everybody has his weaknesses, and you have to determine your weaknesses and work on them. So I try to push myself every day to work. For example, like now, I have a lot of experience in internet marketing, but I didn't have the experience in making product. So now I'm learning as much as I can about learning about product creation. And like you see, this is my first time on a live call like this. So it's the first time for me, but I'm learning. So this is a great opportunity for me to learn something new. And also, when you asked me to join you on this call, do you know what was my first thought I had? Was, oh great, it's a great opportunity for me to do some market research, because I will get a lot of questions from you. I know people, guys from Facebook will send questions, so that's a great example how to do market research. Also, on weekly calls with Alex, I also hear so many questions people have. It's always the same questions. I don't know if people notice that. It's always the same type of questions that are coming round and round. And that's the way how I how I got an idea for my product. I just listen what people are saying and what questions are asking. So that's the main thing.
I think you actually hit the nail right on the head with the market research and paying attention to the questions that people are asking. In the circles that I run in these circles of entrepreneurs, and it seems to be every week we're repeating ourselves. As an advisory group trying to help others, we tend to sit and listen to the same series of questions. People are still struggling with the right kind of solution to, they have a passion for something, and then they feel like there's an answer for a problem that doesn't even exist. And if they just simply slowed down and went and asked what people really want, they could create a product or a service that could hit it out of the park. It's unbelievable. There is a question that just came in on Skype for me. And you know, if anybody else is on that wants to ask a question, you can either ask it on Skype. There's a little chat with us box in the bottom right-hand corner. You could do it through Facebook. I know that's starting to happen a little bit too. And Simon is asking a question. Stojan, you provided some feedback, and a bunch of us have provided feedback on sales pages along the way in the last couple weeks. And there's a lot of chatter and a lot of really great interaction. I love it because we're all here trying to help one another. If someone gets so far that they've created a sales page, they've created a product, and it seems like they didn't do the research in the beginning, is there a way to salvage the effort, or do they have to start over? What would you suggest that they do?
I would suggest to do just what Simon did. He posted questions to get feedback from people. So that's the smartest thing he could have done. The next thing I would suggest, for example, for him is to widen the places where he can ask his questions. He should ask his friends. He should ask on other Facebook groups, wherever he can, so he can get as much feedback as he can. I did follow Simon and his sales page, and I have also seen he put a new version of his ebook based on feedback he got from us. So I think he just needed a push in the right way, and he needs support from all of us. And I like about this group because we all are supporting each other. And like you said, it's always the same questions that are happening. There's always somebody that can give you an answer. So that's great. Feedback. Remember that word. It's one of the important one in market research.
So we just got another question from Julie, and I wanted to sort of throw it in here. She says, you know, once you've done the market research, how do you maximize the research for your specific niche?
It depends from which niche actually you're dealing with, because every niche has different things that's attached to that specific niche. For example, different niche are centered around different type of products. Like in internet marketing, we all know most of the products are like digital products, and you have niches like which have physical products or like some services, or I don't know. It all depends on specific niche by niche case. So you have to watch every niche like case for itself. So there's not a universal approach, and that's where tactics and strategy comes in play. You have, for different types of situations, you have different types of strategy and tactics where to find information you look for.
So I just got sort of sidetracked here because I was paying attention to different messaging coming in. If we boil it down, though, we have the market research that's done. We have an understanding of what our customer looks like, where they live, the culture that they're in, the habits that they have, the difficulties that they are experiencing, and let me see if I can try to help, because we end up dealing with this an awful lot. A value proposition or a product or service that we offer to our customers, to boil it down to just the simple facts, we are really trying to give someone a gain, take away a pain, and or do a job for someone. So depending on the niche, we're going to have different pain and gains, and we're going to have different jobs that need to be done. And that's, I think, where I would take the research. I would simply go back and I would start to ask those questions. What, on the pain side, what makes life difficult for you? What are the biggest challenges that you're currently having? Start asking very specific questions that we could get answers to, and then we maximize that by providing a product or a service that deals with exactly that. And the more layers of the onion we can peel back, the better the solution becomes, the more refined it is, and in fact, the value of it goes through the roof because
Exactly.
we don't waste anybody's time. We get right to the heart of it and help them immediately.
Exactly. You're right, spot on it. You get higher value as as much as better as you understand their problems and their needs. You can help them better and make better value for them. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, so another question just came in. This is great. We're gonna make sure that we honor time here, where everybody's gonna be off here at the end of the hour. We're not gonna get any longer than that. If we have to have you on again, we will. But the real question, there's a question that just came in, and it has to do with network marketing or multi-level type marketing, where we have a particular niche. We need to be able to build a downline. We have products or services we're trying to sell at the same time. What kinds of strategies would we look at in order to understand what market research we might want to do, and how would we go about doing that? Sort of the tactics.
Definitely, first thing you have to do is you have to determine your target audience. It's all the basic stuff again. You have to determine the target audience. You have to determine the strategy, how you want to divert traffic to them. It's all the same stuff. It's not important. It's multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing or product creation or whatever type of marketing. It's the same process. So that's why I said even the tools are the same. Just approach and tactics are a little different. Basic depending on the niche to niche case and what exactly you're trying to achieve. So it's basically the same stuff.
Oh, oh, I think I'm back. Are you still there?
Yeah. I just
Oh, wow, there's something that happened in the ether. We were talking about something super cool, and somebody thought that maybe they pulled a plug on us and stopped the conversation. Um, so I heard at the end there, what you're trying to say, I think, is it doesn't matter whether it's multi-level marketing, it's a retail store, it's a service business, it's internet marketing. We still have to get back to who these people are and why are they interested in the product that we're trying to sell, or what are they interested in that we can sell them. And on a multi-level marketing side, there's lots of different motivation for people to do multi-level marketing. It could be a different lifestyle. It could be a flexibility in their schedule. It could be that they absolutely love the product or service that they're connected with and they want to sell it to someone else. There are lots of different things, and even inside big multi-level marketing programs, whether it's a fitness product or vitamins or heck, it could be paper products. And in all of that, we as business owners can still develop our own niche that we service really, really well. And if we can refine that, it stops us from having to go all over and try to market to so many different people with different messages when it seems like we would benefit from refining our market to those that we have an affinity for, that we understand really well, focus our energy on that, and there's enough of them anywhere we go in the world, there's enough of them that will sustain our own business. You still there?
yeah, I hear you
Okay.
now.
Good. Fair enough. Let's see. If at the end of the day, I see someone else, Nadim. Thanks for commenting here. It says, give your audience exactly what they want, and I think that that's the biggest challenge at the end of the day, to get out of our own way, and instead of assuming what they want, ask them what they want, get the research that's necessary to prove that that's what they want, and then just keep giving it to them in a way that they want it.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes they maybe even are not sure what they want. That can also happen, and you have to push them to bring it out of themselves what they want. So you can have also cases like that. But definitely, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So at the end of the day, um, for you, why does it matter so much that we all figure out market research? I mean, the reality is there are going to be some people who look at it and say, you know what, great idea, but I don't have time for it. There are others going to be that are going to say, wow, this is so great, but I don't know where to get started. At the end of the day, why does it really matter that they figure this out?
Reality is, like we said before, it's not sexy at all. But the thing is, the main thing that I will make sure it will reconsider your mind. It's the result itself, because you know that feeling with when you get result. The result is the best motivator you can have. When you get result, all that hard work you did before comes to you, and you got some kind of reward. So the best thing about it is to get result, and you get that flow of energy, or get excitement, you get positive thinking, and that's just a step. That's something that push you to the next step. So I will say the result is the most important thing you get. And with market research, you get results very fast. Like I said before, when I talk about Facebook marketing, Facebook advertising, for example, or Google advertising, or every type of advertising where you pay for your ads, you basically get instant results with market research. You get statistics, you can follow, you get value right from the moment you implement your changes. You get results straight away. So I think that's the best thing about it.
I think in my own mind, I have to have very specific examples of how that works, and so I know what you're talking about. In that, if I had a product, maybe I'm Simon, and I have this product, and I have two different covers for the product, and I know who my market is. I could go right to Facebook and create two different advertisements that
Yeah,
show two different covers, and I could find out which one of those two are being clicked on the most, and then kill the one that's not performing and do my best to perfect the one that is performing, or put another one up against it and try to kill that one as well, right? It's either it converts or it dies.
of course. The thing you're talking about is called split testing,
Right?
and it's one of the basic stuff you do when you do market research. You put them selection, and they give you their feedback about what's best converting, what's best connecting to them. So definitely a tactic to consider. That's an example of tactic right there.
So with those tactics, we could do that with anything. We could do it with the color of the sales page. We could do it with headlines. We could do it with graphics. We could do it with prices. We could do it with bonus features. We could do it literally with anything. And if we understood it and we were willing to dive into the metrics, what we would find is that we could leverage the energy that we're putting into it to get the most out.
Of course, yeah, definitely very powerful stuff.
Well, great, Stoyan. I want to say thank you very much for indulging me. I send these instant messages to people on Facebook because they happen to be going through the work necessary to answer questions that I'm getting either through Skype or email or whatever. And you were gracious enough to say, yeah, sure, let's give this a go and see what happens. Thanks for joining us. And then other people can connect with you on Facebook. And is there an email address or something that you want to give people, or any other way that people can contact you?
Yeah, I can post it on Facebook
Okay,
group. Yeah,
that
definitely.
sounds great. Any last statements that you'd want to make sure that everyone knows?
No, definitely. I'm glad that we had a chance to learn. I learned a lot tonight. So it's tonight at at my country. It's 11 p.m. I think. Yeah. So I'm very glad that I had a chance to learn something tonight, and I also hope I managed to learn somebody something and to increase desire to learn something about market research. So I hope I managed to do that, and definitely thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, I will see you on the inside of Facebook, and for everyone else, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the questions. Without those questions, we don't learn, and Stojan doesn't learn what it is everyone is really after for his product or his expertise, and we're here to help each other. So if you have other questions later on and you can't get a hold of Stojan, give me a jingle, and I'll do what I can to funnel those questions to him as well. All right. So thanks a lot, and take care.